I'm going to share with you some examples of some of the seeds I save. I have been saving for years. I haven't bought one single seed that I have grown in this polytunnel. I have grown everything here from saved seeds. I was told things like F1 seeds do not save, onions are tricky to save, and brassicas was a no-no. But guys, I started saving my seeds and I have no regrets. Let's share with you the seeds I am saving and the benefits of saving your own seeds. Okay, guys, I think we have been lied to about saving F1. This is an F1 pepper I have saved for over 3 years. This is the original shape. Now, the main reason they say don't save it is because I think it's for people reselling. If you are planting this for your home, it doesn't make a huge difference, okay? Now, this is the way, this is an F1 that has changed. It's meant to be long and have a bit more pointy end. These ones are now looking like buttons. So if I were to sell this, I would sell them as like a random pepper, but I'm not selling them, I'm eating them. So it doesn't matter, it could be shaped like so, which is the original shape, okay? It could be shaped that way, that is the way it's meant to be originally, or it could be shaped this way because that one has crossed with a habanero pepper, or it could just remain in its original form, like so. It's irrelevant if you're actually growing to eat, which is what I'm doing. We can save F1, we can save whatever seeds. You save money, you have seeds that are climatized to your own climate, and ultimately it empowers you to know what you are eating, because guys, believe it or not, GMO seeds are out there now in the market for people to buy and plant. And I don't want to eat GMO foods. I don't know about other people, but because I don't want to, I can control it by growing my own. Yes, you could argue that if my neighbor is growing GMO seeds, then it could cross, but I don't know much research back, to support that, argument. So for now, I will keep doing what I'm doing and believe that my seeds are my seeds up until anything, counters this opinion or thought. Now, you don't need special, like ways of covering each flower to ensure you don't have cross-pollination. Just save your seeds. It is not impossible to save your own seeds. It's not too complicated, and it's better for you and for your environment. Brassicas have not been the easiest things for me to save, simply because they don't turn out to be what they are. But kaleets are the first brassicas I will be saving, simply because they are quite expensive and they are not common. You can't easily get kaleet seeds. So this year I decided to save them, and normally I would have planted my kaleets before now, before the purple sprouting broccoli that have been decimated by pigeons. Guys, pigeons, that's why I brought them in here. The pigeons love your greens, so put them away. They ate almost everything, but thankfully they're growing back. So I plant my kaleets normally in the spring, but this time I am planting in the summer because I am saving seeds. I'm saving seeds to make my own breed. It's about to rain, and that's one of the reasons I want to do this video, because I've been holding off saving my seeds, my brassicas at home, simply because you don't want them staying out to get wet and they start to rot. So try and save your seeds when they are dry. Some seeds you can't do, you have to bring them indoors to dry fully, like in our weather, but some countries and climates can actually allow this. So let's run to the home garden and I'll show you all the other beautiful seeds we are saving. Anyway guys, look how dark it is. Can you see? Rain in the horizon. Let's go home. We are at my home garden. Now this is a perennial kale. This plant is taller than me, as you can see, obviously. It was actually started about 2 years ago and it's doing so well. Now these are the seeds, what they look like. This is the first time I didn't even know kale, perennial kale, could actually produce seeds. I thought it's only from the cuttings. This is what the seeds look like. That's the seed pod, okay? I hope it will give us a focus. Can you see that? That's what the seeds look like. They're quite big. They're bigger compared to the normal brassica seeds that I'm used to. So I actually read up that it's possible to have perennial kale seeds. So it started flowering and it's still flowering, which is weird. It's obviously not a normal kale. It started flowering in the month of March. That was in the winter. It was cold and it was flowering. And I'm just putting that aside, and look at that. Look at what the flowers look like. So this is another branch that is just starting to go to seed, and it gets quite heavy. So these are the flowers of these ones. It gets quite heavy, so a few of them have snapped, but thankfully they're getting ready to be harvested. You want to ensure that it's a bit dry before you harvest it. So this sort of one, I'm sacrificing this for this video. This one here is not ready. It's still green. I wouldn't save these seeds, okay? So because I don't know how well they would dry outside the pod. Leave them on the pod as long as when they are dry, they will be dark inside and you can save the seeds. I've seen people cut them and take them indoors, but look at that now. That one is dry. Can you see? That one is dry and it's brown. It's still ready, okay? So you see how it looks. So you want it to be really dry before you start saving it. So even with that dryness, you need to keep it for a bit longer before you pack it up. So you need to ensure it's proper dry. The seeds are really dry. Apologies guys if it's really noisy. We have a school out there. Did you know you could save strawberry seeds? This strawberry variety I planted from seeds because look how massive they are. This is massive strawberries. They grow so big, but they don't give you runners. So I have two varieties of strawberries on this bed. This variety here gives you runners. So we have the runners. That is how strawberries generally propagate. It comes from the main stem and it just goes out and it runs out and then it forms roots, so what you see there, and that will be normal for strawberries. But the variety here doesn't do that. It goes and produces what we call the suckers. So this here is the main plant, okay, can you see? And we've had another plant coming up there and another one there. So we have three plants but no runners. So that's how this strawberry variety propagates. So I decided to save seeds and I planted them a couple years ago and they're doing okay. Although this bed is just not the happiest of plant beds. It needs sorting out because it's mainly leaf mold in here, but it's worked. Peas are also very easy to save seeds, but make sure they're a bit dry and they don't get moldy on the plant. So I'm taking the dried ones now because they are very ready. You can hear the rattle. They are ready to save the seeds. Peas are really one easy thing you can save seeds from. And this variety is a different one I've never grown before and it's my first time saving the seeds. So it's such an exciting thing to see. Ensure that you can hear the rattle. Can you hear the rattle? So once they are dried on the pod, it's best to then take them off the pod and let them dry fully before you freeze them. Now I always freeze them because the pea moth can actually decimate your safe seeds. So you don't want that happening. Just freeze it dry and it can last for even up to 10 years in your freezer in an airtight jar. Now this is from my freezer. So like I said, I save my seeds in the freezer. This is my beans. These are different bean varieties. And I tie them, obviously separating them. It doesn't take too much freezer real estate. It's a seal tight jar. That's the best jar. But I also use other things. And these ones here are my multicolored corn seeds. So I have tons of it because I don't mind just using these and using this until I run out and then I start saving. Or just before I run out, I start saving again. But it's so easy to save. It's really easy. I have chickpeas, I have saved, replanted, no troubles at all. And then the most important ones, guys, this is the tiniest pack you can put in your freezer. And these are my chilies and my tomatoes. And all you need, I even have some melons. I save my melons myself, save seeds. These are my San Marzano seeds. These are giant bell peppers. I don't buy them. Like, this is the easiest thing you can do. I've got cherries. I've got different, I just labeled them little envelopes and you can have so many seeds. So this is a mystery one that's self-seeded. I don't know, so some crossbreed. It just came out on my plot. I didn't plant it and I have been saving that seed as well. I've got jolokia. This one I bought. Actually, it's not a lot, you can see. That's why I try to save them because it's expensive and it's not common. So next year I would not buy it. All right. I've got this yellow hot one. I showed you how it's, changed. It's meant to be a habanero or a Scotch bonnet, but it's now different shapes, but it tastes the same and still gives me the same effect. And these are some other seeds. And look at that. I have more than 10 seeds all in this tiny pot because chilies, tomato seeds are so tiny. You don't need a lot of space. Obviously, If I was growing to sell, it's different. If I was growing to sell, then I would ensure I don't use like F1 hybrids because I don't want cross-pollination issues, and also because I don't want to have give people seeds that are not what originally they are. But things for me like this perennial kale, guys, it's for me. I'm gonna give it out for free, so people would not mind. I'm sure people will be happy to have free seeds that have been saved, organically grown, and the benefits is endless. Now, I was talking about the green pods, not to keep the green pods, because when they are green like that, they are not the best condition. They might not dry properly, so I'll recommend you just wait for them to dry like so, and then look at that, you have the seeds saved that way. So this is my kale. I'm gonna wait for the pods out there to dry before I harvest them, and the same thing with the kalettes, but there's thousands and thousands of seeds out there, so I don't mind waiting, drying them up, and I'm happy to give out to people. Obviously you will pay for your postage. I don't want to be promising you what I can't fulfill, but I'm happy to give out seeds to people, as many as want and as I can afford to share. Now, these are the peas I have just harvested. Peas are still green, but you need them to really dry up because they're not fully dry. I'll sacrifice one. So that is it. It's not fully dry. If I squish it, you can tell it's not dry enough. So I'm going to let it dry out here. Just leave it in, the conservatories where we are. I'll leave it here to dry, but once it's dried, I will bag it, label it, and it will go in this container in my freezer. So I don't want the pea moth actually consuming them, because the pea moth can eat your pulses. That's how I started saving my beans. The first year I started saving them in the freezer was because the year before that I left them out in the cupboard and the pea moth consumed them. Oh, this one is actually more dry. So I'll show you the difference in the peas when they are dry. Okay, now this is what it looks like. Can you see? The dry ones are shriveled and the fresh ones are not shriveled. That's the difference, but they'll all shrivel nicely out here. Once this is dry and it makes that noise, it's ready to store. You can harvest it, because if you leave it out for too long, it can start rotting, especially we've had rain for a week and more, so we don't want that happening. Okay, anyway, yeah, so I've got you hear that sound? Those ones have dried up even better, and I have free seeds that would have cost me money, but it's not even just the monetary value, it's knowing what I am growing. I save them myself, and empowering me to know that I can ensure I have food. Guys, food sovereignty, seed sovereignty is so important, because the next generation is relying on us to save seeds, as many obviously as are growing, because we got the seeds from people that had saved them. I've got young children. I want them to be able to learn these things from me if they can, and if they want to tomorrow, they have got the skills to grow their own food. I hope you get the message. The message is you can save seeds. It doesn't have to be complex. I try to make my gardening not complicated, not rocket science, but doable, practical, that you or anyone out there can do. Because when I started growing, especially growing in a climate that I wasn't accustomed to, growing in somewhere like Africa, I know everything I needed to know because I learned from my ancestors. My grandmother was a grower. My mother as well is a farmer. It was easy for me to watch them, how they preserve seeds and, grow for the next season. But here, the weather and the climate is really short. The growing season is really short. So I had to really adapt to ensuring that whatever season I have, I can make the most of it, and ensuring I can save seeds for the next generation. I save potato seeds. I save pretty much everything. I think the only seeds I haven't been able to save are brassicas, and this is my first year saving brassicas. Oh, and beetroot and carrots and onions. I will show you my onions. Come on, let's go outside. Onions as well. Now, I was told I watched Charles Darwin, and he said he had a mistake years ago. He grew onions, and when he grew the onions, he tried to save the seeds, but he didn't plant enough onions. So you need at least 6 to 8. This year, I started with about 6 onion bulbs. 2 of them didn't go further. They died in the soil when I planted them out. So I ended up with only 4, but I'm gonna still save the seeds and see what they look like. So do you want to see what my onions are looking like? Let's go outside. My onions are over there in the corner, and the bulbs were huge bulbs. I actually bought the bulbs from Costco, but look at the seeds. These are gonna give us seeds. These are gonna, blow into massive flowers, and you can see them spreading there. And the ones that are still closed and that will give us seeds, these are the ones that are just coming. So I planted, in total I had 8 plants, but I only have 6. I only have 4 now. I planted 6, I beg your pardon. I only have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5. I still have 5. So 5 have survived, and I am hopeful that with this 5 that have survived, they will be able to give me the good, strong, vigorous seeds that I want. So once again, tomatoes are always from saved seeds, always. And these are obviously heirloom ones, but even the ones that are F1, I'll show you my F1 tomatoes. I was advised against sowing F1 tomatoes. This is Tigrella. This was gifted to me and I ate it and I saved the seeds. And it wasn't difficult, and this is such a vigorous plant, guys. This is such a robust plant and has been year after year. Another Tigrella there that was meant to be F1, and it's growing. This is the 3rd year round, no problems at all. These are like the stars of my saved seed, San Marzano. That is one plant giving me all that. Thank you for joining me in this journey on saving your own seeds. What seeds are you saving? What seeds have you had trouble saving? And what seeds are you trying to learn how to save? Share in the comments. What would you like to see on the seed saving journey? Do you want me to show you step by step on how I save seeds? Like, I hear people talk about fermenting tomato seeds for the best germination. I have done both ways and there's not much difference, to be honest, I can't say. So it doesn't have to be complicated or rocket science. Just try it. And if you don't get it right, who's gonna know? It's just me and you, or you and yourself. So it doesn't have to be textbook. It doesn't have to be what you see out there. Just do it yourself, and I'm sure you will be so glad and proud of your results. Now, a few years ago, this was actually a lawn garden, so nothing growing here, and now I have trees. Look, come on, follow me here. And now I have trees. I have apple trees, I have pear trees, and I have herbs, and I have mess as well. And it doesn't matter because I'm growing food, I'm eating the food, and I'm happy. And staying outdoors, it's so good for your mental health, for your physical health, and eating this healthy organic food, guys. You can't put a price to it. You can never put a price to growing your own food and saving your own seeds. So thank you, and I hope you are growing and you are well and you are happy. Bye. Mwah. I have to go in now. Like, I have just been out here waffling. I hope this video comes out good, and I hope you guys enjoy it at the end of the day. Bye bye.